welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you're here. Guess where I am? We are back home. We are in Cabo. We are on vacation. I am so excited. I am so happy to be back. I am so happy to be here. The last couple of weeks have been super busy and stressful with work. So I am so ready to disconnect and have such an amazing week. So welcome to this weekly vlog. In today's video, we're just gonna be hanging out, spending some summer days together, spending vacation together, and we're also going to be reading some new releases. I'm very excited. We're definitely going to be taking a very mellow vacation. All we want to do is literally sit by the pool and read and hang out all day, and hopefully read some 5-star books because I am craving to be feral for a book. I am craving to feel something. I need to feel something. I've been a little bit in like a mini tiny reading slump. I don't even want to call it a full reading slump, but I haven't been reading as much as I would have liked, especially in the month of June. I mean, it's literally July 1st today. We've been struggling a little bit the past few weeks, like picking up books consistently. So I'm excited to just dive into a book, be fully immersed, go feral, and have such a good time. So for this vacation, I wanted to bring books that were a little bit more on the emotional side, something that's going to make me feel super immersed and not like just like a silly little rom-com, because like, again, yes, those are fun, especially for the summer, but I genuinely feel like I need something that's going to make me like feel, and especially something that's going to make me maybe even cry. That's the mood we're in this week. So I did decide to bring 3 books, and of course we also brought our Kindle. I didn't want to overpack. My bag was 50 pounds, so even if I would have brought one more book, it would have been over the weight limit. So I'm glad we only brought 3, and we also have our Kindle if we don't want to pick up something physical. The first book I brought is Promise Me Sunshine. This one has, I feel like, everything I want in a book. It has summer vibes. The cover is gorgeous. Apparently the characters are so funny and witty, but it also has a big plot and like theme of grief, which again, we know it's my kryptonite. And so I fear this is going to make me like probably sob and cry my face off, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I've genuinely not seen a single bad review of this book. Everyone that has read it has like liked it or absolutely loved it. So I am very excited. I'm really nervous because of the like heavy topics this book deals with. This is a newish release, I would say, and I got it literally the day it released, and it's just been sitting on my TBR. And I have been waiting for the time and the place to like read this. I think the time is now, honestly. I think you might be asking why I brought this, because it's not very summer, not very like vacation vibes. This is one of my most anticipated releases of this year, and I have yet to pick it up. And I knew I could not go a whole other month without reading this book. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Apparently this book is insane. It is amazing, and it is people's like favorite book of the year, and we're barely in July. Everyone is telling me to pick this book up like literally now. And when you give me toxic, messy, sapphic vampires, how can I say no? This is another new release that has gotten nothing but praise and love, and I am so happy for V.E. Schwab. I literally looked at it on my book cart and I was like, there is absolutely no way that I can come without you. And mind you, it is a thick book. It is pretty heavy, and I could not leave this book at home. And then last but definitely not least, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love this cover. I love the way that this book looks. The blue, the art inside, so pretty. TJR is one of my favorite authors. She has written some of my favorite books of like all time. Carrie Soto's Back is so underrated. I love that book so much. I also love tennis, so I feel like I was very invested in that story. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That book is popular for a reason, and I will stand on the fact that that book is so good. I've been waiting for the day that Miss TJR is going to come out with a new book. I actually wasn't going to get it until it came out on paperback. I was probably going to either listen to the audiobook or read it on my Kindle, but I own every book that I've read by TJR. I own it in physical, so I felt like it was I just had to do it. The besties have warned me They have told me that this is a tearjerker. This will pull your heartstrings. I will apparently be sobbing by the end of this book. This is one that I know I'm going to read this vacation. I'm not going home. I'm not going back until I read this. This has to be read in the next few days. Honestly, should we start with this one? I don't know. These are the 3 options we brought. I am so excited to read all of these. All 3 are very different. All 3 give me something depending on what I'm feeling and what mood we're in. Reading new releases is so much fun. I love getting a book and just giggling and having fun and being in it with everyone when everyone's reading it, and we can all talk about it and we can all just like fangirl over these books. I am so happy to be on vacation. I am so happy to be here, and I am so happy to bring you along. It's gonna be so much fun. Good morning. It is like 2 days later. Yesterday was raining so hard. Actually, overnight was literally pouring, so everything outside is like a little wet and just humid and a little windy from like the rain that we got. So yesterday we took it very just chill. There was a couple of like soccer games. US played the semifinal, so did Mexico, so we did that. And other than that, we just ate, hung out, and it was a very nice day, but we didn't do much. I didn't get much reading. I did start a new book, but I think from now on we're over the rain. Usually here in Cabo it rains maybe a day or a couple days, and then it's like pretty much gone. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that that's kind of like the end of it, because I enjoy the rain. I just don't want the rain when I'm on vacation, you know? So it is 6:45 right now, and I woke up at like 6. I wanted to watch the sunrise, but unfortunately, because it's so gloomy and it rained all day, the clouds were still there, and so there was not a sunrise to look at, which is totally fine. We'll have so many more days, so hopefully either tomorrow or the next day there'll be like a really nice sunrise that we can watch together. So 2 days ago when I was flying, I downloaded 2 like thriller books. One was Death Row by Frida McFadden, which is her like newest release, I guess, and The Last Word by Taylor Adams. And so for some reason I really wanted to read The Last Word yesterday, and I just did not want to start one of the physical books that we brought. I kind of wanted to read it on my Kindle. I really want to start one of the physical books at the pool, or like when I actually have time to like binge read for a little bit, and yesterday was just like not that day. So in the morning I did start The Last Word. So I am currently reading The Last Word. I'm on page 87. I'm 32% in. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think of this book yet. I feel like it's pretty early. I'm like not even 50% in, but I like it. Like it's pretty good. I think the premise of the story has a lot of potential. So the novel starts with a reader, literally a girl just like us, who is like a fanatic of like mystery and thrillers, and she's reading a thriller that kind of like unsettles her a little bit, and she dislikes it so much that at the end of the book, when she's going to rate it, she rates it 1 star, and after she gives the rating, she starts to get messages from the author, very weird messages, asking her to like delete the review because it like affects him. And it's just like that's a very odd thing to do, especially because review spaces are for readers, they're not meant for authors. And then weird things start happening, little freaky eerie encounters. I think the premise and the plot could be really good. I'm just like not loving the writing. I think I'm not super enjoying the pacing of the story. I feel like it's very slow. I'm getting quite like bored. That sucks. But again, I am still 30% in, and I feel like I try to like not set my mind on if a book is good or bad until I reach like 50%. I want to always like a book, and sometimes the beginning is slow, but then by like halfway, 50%, it usually picks up. So I try to like not set my mind on if a book is bad or good until 50%. I try really hard. I mean, obviously I've DNF books before the 50% because Those are books that I just genuinely don't like or I can't get through, but we're gonna get through this one, I think. And hopefully we can get through this one this morning. Today is a very chill day. We have nothing planned other than we're meeting with some friends and we're having some dinner. We're just gonna have a little like dinner party here at the house. So that's gonna be fun. But other than that, it's a very nice day. It feels pretty windy, but overall like just it's clearing up. So hopefully we get some sun and we can go and lay out and maybe even start a new book. But first we have to finish this one. Okay, I'm almost like 70% through this book, but I literally had to come and talk to you because the writing is so painfully, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but something about the writing makes me cringe every like 5 seconds. The amount of times that our main character, one, I guess, of the main characters has said that he is either an alpha or a beta. Like, who says that as an adult that is like 40 years old? Who uses the word alpha male or beta male? Like, it's making me cringe so bad. I do not like this book. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely, I feel like I'm like invested in it and I like want to know what is going to happen. But then every time I keep reading, something happens or like the writing just really annoys me and it gives me the ick. I'm trying to be so nice about this book, but who says that? Ew, that is so, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Ugh. I hate it. Every time I feel like we're over the mountain, over the hill, that I'm like, okay, I'm kind of liking this. I'm kind of like liking the pacing more. Something happens and something is written that I just like cringe and I cannot. I am gonna finish it because I'm literally 70% in. I just want to see it through, but I just had to come and say that I do not like the writing. I'm trying to like it and I'm trying to have a little grace. It's making me ick. I don't like it. Hello, happy Friday. Actually did finish, what was it even called? I forgot. I did finish it that day. So I did end up finishing The Last Word by Taylor Adams that day. I still don't know how to feel about this book. I just did not enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. I think like the premise of the book and just like the overall plot again had a lot of potential, and I think with maybe like a different writing style, I feel like I would have liked it more. I don't know. I just like, I didn't really like connect with the characters. I didn't really like feel like I was on the edge of my seat or like wanting to pick up. I wanted to get it over with, but overall like I wasn't really into the book. I feel like it was just kind of average. There was like some things that like the author would write that honestly kind of made me cringe. This is my first book by this author, so obviously I'll probably read more of their work. This one just like genuinely didn't work for me. Wanted to get it over with and I was just kind of like going really fast and not really like invested in the story at all. But we did end up finishing the first book of this trip, so yay for that. I think I'm gonna rate it like a 2.5 star. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it and I probably wouldn't recommend it. I think that there's like other thrillers that I would probably recommend. I'm gonna say like probably skip this one, but I'm happy I finished it. I'm happy I give it a try and I am probably going to read more of this author. This one just like didn't really work for me. Next up, we're gonna start Atmosphere by TJR. I am so excited. I have heard nothing but amazing things from all the besties and I just know that this is gonna be such a good read and I'm hoping to get like around like 100 pages in. We do have other things to do later on today. Our friend is coming into town and obviously we want to go to dinner and show her around and all the things, but want to like read tonight and be very like immersed and intentional with when I read this book because I want to love it so bad. We're gonna start reading, hopefully make a good dent into this book. I am so excited. next day and we just came back from having lunch. And so it's time to wind down. I'm going to change, put on like comfy clothes, and we're gonna start our new book. I've heard nothing but amazing things. Literally everyone is saying that this is a very sad, but just very beautiful, like wholesome book. Guys, you don't understand. I am so excited to start this. I have been foaming at the mouth, itching to finally be able to pick this up. I'm gonna change and put some comfy clothes, go upstairs and start our new book. I'm probably going to read for maybe like an hour. And so later I will update you some thoughts and how much I read, hoping to get at least 100 pages in. I am so excited. I can't wait to fall in love with this book. Hello again, besties. As you can see, we are back home. We are back in California. It has been a couple days, a few days since we have been back. I am so sad that vacation is over, but I also genuinely think that it was time. We were there for 2 weeks. And I feel like a headless chicken when I don't have a routine and a consistent schedule per se. I feel like a person just floating in the air without any direction. So I am also glad to be back home and try to get back into a routine and just get back to walking on my pad, cooking at home, sleeping in my own bed, and just being in my own space. On another note, I am also very just sad and kind of feel bad that I didn't get any content of me reading Promise Me Sunshine. For some reason, every time I was reading this book, first of all, I was listening to it, and I feel like every time I was reading this book, I was either not somewhere where I could film, like I was driving, and so the reading was more sporadic, and it was like here and there I got to read like 50 pages, and so there was like never time for me to pull out the camera. And also other times I just did not want to pull out the camera, like I was enjoying my time just like being there with my people. And so anyways, I feel like this is a long-winded explanation to say that I am sorry, and I feel just kind of bad, because not bad, just like I didn't get the content at the end of the week that I wanted to, and especially because I really liked Promise Me Sunshine. It is actually one of my favorite romances that I've read this year, and so I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to document my reactions and like my feelings to it as I was processing like reading the book. Just kind of like bummed out that I didn't get to get that content, and I also just wasn't able to like film as much as I wanted for you guys, but I honestly think it's okay. And I had a really good time filming and reading and just having like really fun days with you guys. Anyways, enough of that. We did end up reading 4 books, which I am so proud, and I actually ended up finishing Promise Me Sunshine like 2 days after I arrived to California. So let's recap on the books we read, the genre, the rating, my opinions, my thoughts, all of it. First up, we read Death Row by Frida McFadden, which is her newest release. I'm pretty sure this is going to be part of like a series or like an interconnected standalone situation. I'm not entirely sure, but I did see that it was the first book in like a collection or in a series. I don't know, that is what Goodreads was telling me. So this was around 80 pages, I want to say, maybe a little less than that. So it was a very quick little like novella, and I'm not sure if all of them are going to be novellas. I'm assuming. We did end up starting and finishing On the Plane, of course. I ended up rating this a 3-star. One, it's a novella, so there's not a lot of time to really like develop a plot or really connect to the characters. And then 2, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It was actually a pretty decent thriller. It was a little out there. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was pretty average. It didn't, again, get me in the way that I like want a thriller to get me. And I think partially it is because it was a novella. So again, maybe if it would have been a full-size book, maybe. But because it's so short and there's just so much the author can tell us in 70, 80 pages, can't really say more than that, you know? It was good. I liked it. I rated it 3 stars. So yes, still recommend it. I think if you are looking for literally just like a tiny thing, maybe you are in a bit of a reading slump or you need something quick and easy, maybe for a flight, a little road trip or even to like reach your reading goal, I would honestly tell you you should read this because it was so quick and it did keep me pretty engaged, and I was definitely like locked in. Like as soon as I started reading, I didn't get distracted once. I was locked in, I was reading. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything that I was like, wow, this is the best novella I've ever read in my whole, no. But again, it was entertaining. It did what it needed to do. It kept me locked in. You like need something quick and easy and something that's just kind of like mindless. Yeah, you should pick this one up. Next up, we read The Last Word by Taylor Adams. And what can I say about this book that I haven't already said? Long story short, I did not enjoy this book at all. I'm going to be completely transparent. This is not a book I think that I would recommend ever. I hardly ever give books less than 3 stars. Like I really have to dislike the writing and the plot and the setting and honestly almost everything for me to rate a book less than 3 stars. I don't want to keep trashing the book and just like talking bad about the book or the author whatsoever. I think our last update was that I probably will pick up other things by this author because I want to give them another chance and because I never want to judge an author by one book. This is like my first impression, but it doesn't have to be like the only impression I have of them. So not my cup of tea, not a book that I feel comfortable like recommending, not because I'm not comfortable like because of the content of the book, just because I genuinely just don't think that it's a good written book. The thriller and mystery genre is very oversaturated and there's just so many good thrillers out there that I just think that you should pick something else. I have so many other thriller and mystery recommendations that I would give you before I tell you to read this book. Honestly, I would never tell you to read this book. Next up, we have my favorite book of this trip. One of my favorite books of probably all time, Atmosphere by Ms. Taylor Jenkins Reid. How do I tell you that this is one of the best books that I've read all year? It is a freaking masterpiece. Something about her books just always make me so deeply emotional and they make me feel so much. They all have very real and realistic situations and scenarios, and the way that she can just make me completely fall madly in love with these characters and just connect with them and feel so protective over them. And when something just is not going the way that I want it to go, I will lose it every single time. The last 100 pages, I did not want to believe everyone that was like, oh, the last 10% is the worst, the last 10% is the worst. No, I am telling you, this book is truly emotional damage. If you want to cry and sob and just contemplate life, yeah, read this book. I of course rated it 6 stars. Love just the way that she develops stories and how in-depth her characters feel, because they genuinely feel like real people. Like you cannot tell me that these people are not real and that they are not scientists, that they are not astronauts. You can't tell me that they're not real. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. One of my favorite tropes in this world is always going to be found family. Something about found family just hits me in my heart so deep, and this one just has it in the most beautiful, amazing way. I don't want to say a lot. I don't want to spoil this book for you. I think that you should go blind like me. All I knew about this book is that it was about scientists, and that was all. I promise you, the sucker punch, the emotional whiplash that you will get from this, life-changing. And last but definitely not least, Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. What a book. What a story. Do not get fooled by this cover and by the fact that it's a romance book. This is so much more than a romance. One of the most realistic, heart-wrenching books about grief that I have ever read. The grief in this book is a major part of the story. It is talked about constantly. It is talked about literally in every single page. And if you are not comfortable reading hard topics or grief or death of a loved one, definitely check trigger warnings and you know yourself best. But if you are able to pick this up and you are going into this with an open heart and an open mind, I am still like in awe of these characters and Cara Stone's ability to make me cry and laugh in the same sentence. Like, this is similar to how I felt with Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young, in the sense where I was like, this is hitting me so hard. I literally couldn't stop crying. Like, every other chapter, there were tears running down my face. I felt their grief so vividly and in a way that I just was not expecting. But it was also a very refreshing book and a very refreshing story to see how two people can be in very different like walks of life with their grief and in very different points, and they are still able to just connect so deeply and be there for each other and love each other and just completely be obsessed with each other. You can't read this book and not root for the main characters. You want them to be together and you want them to have a happily ever after so bad. This is a pretty heavy, hard book to read, especially if you have dealt with grief in your life. I can see why it can be a pretty tough read, but it is also just a very beautiful story about two people finding each other and falling in love in the most messy, funny, witty way. I think I'm between like a 4.5, a 4.75, not to be that person, but I like the 2.5s, okay? I know that not everyone does, and I used to not do them. I used to only do whole numbers or 0.5s, but something about the 0.25 just, I've grown out of being too, I don't want to put my books and my ratings in a box and always be like, I can only rate it a whole number. I can only rate it a 0.5. Like, no, if I want to rate this a 3.8, I'm gonna do it. It is an almost perfect book. I have endured grief and I have gone through a lot of things that I felt like this book just was really heavy for me to read at times, and I think that that is also why it's not like a full 5-star read, because I did have to put it down like multiple times or like stop reading multiple times. So you might not feel like that. You might think, oh my god, this is the easiest book ever, and finish it in 2 days. It took me a week. So I feel like that says enough. Something about the spring summer months, the releases just hit so hard every single year, and these are two of them that I cannot recommend enough, and I will never ever stop talking about. I will never stop thinking about these books, and so I feel very lucky and just very happy that we got 2 amazing reads in this vlog. Anyways, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. It truly means the entire world to me. I love you guys so much. I have to take a minute and just express my gratitude for the love and support recently. I cannot even express to you how much it means and just how happy it makes me that we are building a little community here. Having a community that just like genuinely like wants to watch my videos is just kind of crazy to me, and I just feel so grateful and just so lucky to have you here. I'm just happy. My heart is just like really full lately, and it is all thanks to you. So thank you so much. Okay, my camera is screaming at me because it's overheating and it's about to turn off. So if you want to follow me in any of my other social medias, they will be linked down below. And I think that's it for me. So I will see you next time. Bye.